Hey everyone, welcome to the C&J Art Adventure and Family channel. In this video, I take you along with me as I go to downtown Buenos Aires. First, to go to the art store, and then my friends Andy and I go to the Toy Story exhibition. And then, since we were in the same general area, we thought we'd go to La Marcha de los Jubilados, or the March of the Retirees, which was also combined with support for Gaza, the workers' unions, and a few other causes. And I also talk about how things are going in general in Argentina and a few life updates. Hope you enjoyed the video. I almost walked right past it. Artística Raigo. I am here for one thing only. That is pencils. Well, two things. Pencils and a pencil sharpener. And nothing else. Doesn't mean I can't look though. I love these sets of watercolors. Man, I remember when I bought my first set of professional Winsor Newton watercolors. I got the set of 12 for, it was 17,000 pesos. That was back in 2020. And now that same set is 154,000 pesos. And that's the same, still worth the same amount. That just seems crazy to me though. Paper. Watercolor palettes. I would really like some empty watercolor wells. I don't know what you call them in Spanish though. Oh, that is nice. I don't know if they sell those here though. Paper, paper, paper. That Plantic line is surprisingly good. I just bought a new pad and I'm really looking forward to trying it. I got the 240 weight. Canvas boards. Stretched canvas. I've been playing with my luminance pencils and it has been so fun. Those pencils are so nice. I just really wish I had more colors though. But the colors that my set doesn't have, I can find in my polychromos. Blue Violet 137. I want May Green, Burnt Sienna, Walnut Brown, 121, 219. I got my pencils. I made it to the old Correo building. I'm not sure what that statue is, but over here is the old Correo. Now Palacio Libertad. It's gorgeous. Oh. Hola.
El segundo ahora.
Sí, el segundo.
Excelente.
Gracias. Wanna get our selfies in front of this? In front of here? So this exhibition, Toy Story 30, was arranged between Disney Pixar and the Secretaría de Cultura de la Nación and is inside what is currently known as Palacio Libertad, formerly the CFK Center, which I will always think of it as, and the former main post office of Buenos Aires, or Correo Argentino. And so in order to get inside this exhibition, you have to make reservations online. And I was fortunately able to do that within the first few hours that this exhibition was announced, because I think within a day, all the reservations were gone. And I put myself on a waiting list so that I can go again, hopefully. Yeah, so I was able to get 2 spots for my friend Andy and I, and we went on Wednesday at 2 p.m. And we, of course, are huge Disney Pixar fans. We love all things Disney Pixar. So we were so excited to be able to go to this exhibition. But most of the artwork and everything else on display here in this exhibition were reproductions. I don't know about the statues. I don't know if those were specially made for this exhibition or on loan from Disney and Pixar. But still, it was really, really well done. You know, as 2 fans of Disney, Pixar, and animation and art in general, it was just a dream come true to be able to go in there and look at all the artwork and see how the story making process is done, you know, how they come up with the story ideas, and then how they go on to refine those ideas and make maquettes and everything else. And we can just imagine how long this process took. Andy and I, of course, are both artists. We are both illustrators. I illustrate mainly for children's books, and she for magazines, and we both have backgrounds in animation. I have a degree in both animation and illustration, and I also worked for animation studios, and she took classes while in school in animation, but she never went into the studio process. And so we are both familiar with animation and the entire process behind it. And so it was just really interesting and really, really exciting to see the entire process laid out and displayed like that in this exhibition. And it's really amazing how much work goes into telling one story, into making one movie. And my favorite part personally is the pre-production, where you come up with the different character designs and all the layouts. Yeah, I love that process. I started in animation. My first job in animation was as an animator, but I really wanted to go into pre-production, and so I was given the chance to create characters and some of the layouts, and then I went into storyboarding. And so I just love that entire process. I don't know about storyboarding. I mean, I love the storyboards themselves. Like, I love being able to create them, but the grind of it, like having to create so many storyboards per day, was a bit exhausting for me. So I didn't continue that after like a year in that. But if I ever went back into animation, I would still go back into pre-production, into creating the characters and the layouts. So I have seen all the Toy Story movies. Andy has only seen the first 2, I think. And I love all of them. I know some people have issues with the later ones, but I really love all of them. I thought they were so well done. And I was just sad to see Andy grow up and give all his toys away. That, I remember, making me cry when I saw the last movie and Andy gave his toys to Bonnie. Even just remembering it is putting a lump in my throat. And these are just made-up characters in a movie. That's how well done these movies, I think, were done, and how well designed these characters are, how realistic they are. It's a really great medium, animation, to tell things that we can all relate to, that we all go through. I mean, we all play with toys, hopefully, as children, and then at some point you either give them away or your parents give them away. Like, my parents gave most of my toys away and I didn't even notice. So I really wish I'd kept a lot of them. Wait, I do remember one time when my father gave away one of my dolls, and I was only 4 or 5, and I did notice, and I made quite the scene. And my mother made him go out and get me another one, but I just remember the trauma of my father giving away my doll. Like, I've said in a previous video that my childhood was not ideal, so he was the kind of father who would do that kind of thing, and he did replace it, thank God. I don't remember what happened to that doll afterwards. I think I was really traumatized by that I didn't quite attach to the replacement doll. But another toy that, thank God, they never gave away, I would have thrown a fit if they had, was my favorite stuffed animal, Starlight. She was this little stuffed dog, and I just loved her. I was one of those kids who was afraid of the dark, and so I could not sleep without Starlight. And I still have her. She's in the house where my mother is, and so at some point I need to go back and get her, or when my mother comes to visit, hopefully she will also bring Starlight. But yeah, I have to admit, I was not one of those kids who believed my toys came to life when I wasn't looking. I remember hoping they would. I remember making believe they did that. But I think I was a pretty realistic kid, and I just didn't believe something that seemed that far-fetched. And yeah, maybe it was because I also stopped believing in Santa Claus pretty early on, mainly because my parents were from the Philippines and they weren't really familiar with the traditions of Christmas in the US and other Western countries. And so I remember they were pretty good about putting the presents under the tree at the right time, but there was one year when they forgot. I don't remember what happened. Like, either they gave it to us early on and there was nothing for Christmas morning from Santa, or later, one or the other. But after that, I realized there was no Santa. The magic of Christmas was all made up. And I remember how sad I felt about that. I mean, I couldn't blame my parents. Even at that age, I knew not to blame my parents because they just were not familiar with the traditions. But I was sad about that. Yeah, so, you know, seeing these movies again, it kind of reminds me of that time when I did believe, before I stopped believing in Santa Claus. You know, when you're really little and you can't really tell the difference between reality and magic, that magical time in your life. And yeah, that's what these movies touch upon. That's why I think they strike such a chord with people. My favorite characters from all the Toy Story movies, by the way, are Forky and Duke Kaboom. And I also love Buzz Lightyear and Rex. I also really like Bo Peep, Woody, Slinky Dog, Hammy, Mrs. Potato Head, Barbie, and all those other characters. But there's just something about Forky and Duke Kaboom that are so endearing. And yeah, you can't help but smile whenever I think or see them. In fact, I have little Forky and Duke Kaboom figurines on my desk right now that I got from Five Below, and I'm so glad I did, because I think they were only about $2, something like that, and they were super tiny. But yeah, those were a really great find. Ooh. Let me see what they have. Oh my god, you can get Forky! Woody. Oh, that's nice. Does it smell? No. Oh. 22,000. This one was 15. These shirts were 65,000. It's a lot. Oh, magnets. Lotso. Lotso is definitely not my favorite character.
I don't know him. I
He's-
have to see the movie.
He's the villain. A lot of people like him. I don't know why. I mean, he is cute, I guess.
Oh, nice.
That's so cool. Toy Story.
I like.
How much is this? I impress you? No.
No price there?
10. This is only 10,000, I guess. I don't see a price. It's not bad. Does it say anything?
Nico has the original, right?
Yeah, from the park. I wonder if this. Oh wow, 100,000. This Buzz Lightyear is 100,000.
100,000.
And look how small it is.
Fuck.
Does it make? Maybe it makes noise. No, it doesn't do anything. Oh, here's more. Oh, here, 30,000 or 28,000. Oh, look at these lamps. That must be, what's his name? Spike or something? I don't know. That kid. Ooh, I love these
No,
lamps.
Andy is the first character.
Ooh, I love these. Whoa, 400,000.
400,000?
Look,
Fucking shit.
I mean, it looks like really good quality at least.
I wish I born in the United States.
12,000.
here.
Yeah. Or at least for the chance to travel there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how much is this? Whoa. 180,000 pesos.
1 million?
No, 100, almost 200,000.
200,000.
Oh, and this one, how much is this? Whoa, 300,000. And this one is 300,000. Whoa.
This one I don't like very much.
Yeah, it's really ugly. The one in the park looks more like him. I like the horse, but it's 40,000. That's really expensive.
No way.
Oh, those are really cute. So afterwards, my friend and I wanted to join La Marcha de los Jubilados. So we walked there. It's a pretty short, really nice walk over to Congreso. And along the way, we ran into this other march. And we didn't realize that La Marcha de los Jubilados, or the March of the Retirees, had joined this march, which was in support of Gaza. We went over to Congreso just to see, and we saw that there was nothing there, and so we went all the way back to this march again, and we walked alongside the marchers there for a while. And yeah, there is a lot going on in Argentina right now. There's an election coming up in a few weeks, and so no one knows what to expect. It feels like feelings and expectations are very intense right now. It doesn't help that a few weeks ago 3 women were murdered. 3 young women, Brenda, Lara, and Morena. They were 15, 20, and 22. And these young women had unfortunately gotten themselves involved with the wrong crowd. They had made some unwise choices, let's say, in order to survive. It's very difficult to survive for many people here in Argentina right now. And so they are resorting to second jobs, third jobs, or things that they normally would not do if better paying work were available. And so in retaliation for these unwise choices, they were lured to this house where they were told a party was taking place. And when they arrived there, they were then tortured and murdered by this gang of drug dealers. And all of this was live streamed to this gang's other members, live streamed on Instagram. And it was all pretty horrific. It's a really huge story here in Argentina. And a lot of people here were really enraged and fearful for what this means for Argentina, because this kind of violence has not been common here at all, not like the way it is in Mexico and other places in Central and South America. It's not common here. And so for the first time, something like this has happened. And in response to that, instead of calming and reassuring the population, the government instead did the exact opposite. The Minister of Defense was on the news arguing about how the left was using the word femicidio, calling this a femicide because it was 3 women who were killed. And she was saying, well, it could have been 3 men just as easily. And, I was thinking, this is not the time to argue about the use of a word. It's so beside the point. And it told you that they really didn't get it. They really didn't get it. Or worse, maybe, because when there was a march a few days after the funeral of these young women to keep their memory alive and to protest increasing drug violence, there was also a lot of police presence. There was a lot of police repression and intimidation, not only against the marchers, but against one of the parents of the marchers. On the news, you saw the mother of one of the young women, Brenda's mother, being intimidated by the police and being held back from joining the rest of the marchers by the police. And you can see on their faces, on the faces of the police, that they were very happy to do this. There was a smile on the face of the policeman who was directly holding Brenda's mother back. And it was just a really bad image. And of course, the only reason the police could be there is if the government gave their okay, or they ordered them to be there. Either way, it sent a really bad message to the people. And then, a few days after that, the scandal of Jose Luis Espero erupted, and he was accused of being funded by narcotrafficos. He specifically, and possibly a few others, to the point where he was forced to remove himself from the elections later this month, though he is still part of government. And so that altogether, I think, probably means that the ruling party of Argentina, the governing party, will probably lose very badly this month. And no one knows what will happen after that. With the inflation in the economy and the price of the peso against the dollar, and the hope of aid from the US, who has specifically stated that their aid is dependent on the governing party winning the elections, which it probably will not do. And so everything right now feels so uncertain. It feels honestly really volatile. And Andy and I, we had to leave the march after a certain point because it felt like anything could happen. We saw all those policemen there and a lot of the marchers, and it just felt like the police were waiting for some kind of spark. And we did not know what that spark was. And so in order to remove ourselves from the possibility of being in the middle of all that, we just went home early. And we were glad we did, because later on the news I saw that there was yet more police repression. They had used tear gas or pepper spray on some of the marchers. And so, we were glad we had left when we did. One more thing about the state of Argentina right now. Last night, the president of this nation, Javier Milei, put on a concert in the movie star arena, and some of his deputies were in the background dancing on stage, and we watched part of it on the TV. But it was hard to watch because it was the strangest thing we have ever seen. Just so strange. I don't know. Because people are going hungry, people are really suffering. He is about to lose the elections, and he puts on this giant show for himself, and it just felt so disconnected from reality. And I know the purpose of it was, one, to celebrate himself, and two, to indoctrinate more young people to his party. And maybe he achieved that, but he also turned off, I would think, a ton of people looking at that and thinking, what is this fool doing? Seriously. And so, in real terms, this volatility means that we're always looking for more work, and many people here in Argentina already have second and third jobs, and if they don't, they're looking for more work, and that includes my husband and I. I am working 9-10 hours each day, including weekends, and the only times I have off are when I go out to do events like this exhibition with Andy, or I have a doctor's appointment, and then I'll just combine that with doing other things that I normally don't have time to do, like going to the bookstore or the museum or stuff like that, walking around the city. Yeah. In any case, that is the state of Argentina right now. Complete uncertainty, volatility, and everyone is bracing themselves. And yet, we're just focusing on family and surviving. That's all you can do, right? In times like these. I feel like what's happening here in Argentina is also happening in many other parts of the world. In the US even. So we're not alone in this, in any case. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. I have a Buy Me a Coffee link down below, and I also have links to where you can find my merch shop and my originals. And thank you again for watching this video, and hope to see you next time. Ciao!